Hey everybody, so I've got such a fun video for you today because this is our new Ram 1500 Classic, the most affordable full-size truck in the land. And one question I've always wondered is, do you need lockers in your full-size truck? Is just a basic four-wheel drive system with no goodies good enough to tackle your needs? Well, in this video, we're gonna run Stubby here through a couple of tests. We're gonna check out the four-wheel drive system in a controlled environment on the TFL slip test, and then we're gonna take this truck and run it through trenches here at Onyx Off-Road's Andre's Pit to see if this four-wheel drive system will cut the biscuit out in the real world. Let's grab. Come on, buddy. In order to judge the performance of the four-wheel drive system of the Ram in a controlled environment, we're going to run this truck through the TFL slip test. So what I have here are rollers, a number of these rollers, and we can position them underneath various wheels. And essentially what these do is get the truck stuck on purpose so we can see how the four-wheel drive system, how the traction control system works to get us unstuck. The first test is the rear wheel slip test, and this is very, very simple. Both rear wheels are stuck in the rollers, which means that in two-wheel drive, in rear-wheel drive, the rear wheel should spin and spin and spin, but we're probably not going to make any forward movement because that is an extremely slippery surface, or at least it simulates a basically zero friction surface. So what we do is we back onto the rollers, a little bit more gently than that, Micah, and then we put the truck into neutral. We let it settle into that crevice in the rollers, and then we go into drive, and then I let off the brake gently. We don't slam on the accelerator, and then we see what happens. And you can see, even as I start to apply some accelerator, we are stuck. We're not moving at all. And that's, of course, because we are in two-wheel drive. Now, the solution to this problem is to stick the truck into four-wheel drive. So that's what I'm going to do now. There's just a little button down here. Push the button. The light's going to flash. Now it's solid. And with four-wheel drive engaged, it should provide drive to the front axle as well. So when I let off the brake and onto the accelerator, you can see with little to no difficulty, the truck drove off that situation. Very good result. Hey, so if you want a really cool classic of your own, we are selling our 1987 BMW M535 over at TFLbids.com. That's right, this exact car is up for auction. This is a super cool ride, originally sold brand new in Japan and then imported here into the States where it got a manual conversion, but it's in fantastic condition, original paint, and this thing is one of the coolest rides anywhere. Check it out over at TFLbids.com. Next up is the diagonal slip test, and this is a very, very, very practical real-world situation. So in this test, opposite ends of the truck are going to be stuck. So the right front and the left rear. Now this is extremely common in the snow, in the slush, in the ice, but especially when you're off-road. A wheel falls into a hole, a wheel gets picked up off the ground, that wheel's basically got, no real use because it's just spinning and spinning and spinning, and then the traction control is going to have to engage to send wheel speed to the wheel on the ground. Or if you had a locker, you could push a button and then lock the two wheels together, either front or back or both, to get unstuck. This truck has none of those features, so what we're going to have to rely on instead is traction control. So traction control is going to have to slow down the wheel that's spinning, and then because this vehicle is open diffs, that'll have the effect of essentially speeding up the wheel on the ground, doing nothing. Now I've put the truck in a four-wheel drive low because you see this situation all the time off-road. When you're off-road, most folks are going to use four-wheel drive low, and we'll see how the Ram 1500 performs. So we're settled into drive. I'm going to let off the brake, onto the accelerator. Very good result. Did you see that? So it took just a tiny bit of spinning before the system engaged and we got unstuck. That was excellent. Here, we'll try it one more time. I'm going to back onto the rollers nice and gently. And maybe just for giggles, let's try four-wheel drive high. Let's see if that has any effect. So gone into four-wheel drive high, into drive, onto the accelerator. All right, so not quite as immediate, or just about as immediate, I should say. Excellent result in the full-size Ram. Even with no lockers, this thing performed like a beauty, but let's take it up a notch or several. So next up, we've got the three-wheeled slip test, and this is where things get really interesting because both right wheels are going to be stuck in the rollers. The left rear is on the ground and the left front is also stuck. So 3 out of the 4 wheels are going to essentially be doing nothing but spinning. That left rear is going to have to start moving if we're going to get unstuck. So 4-wheel drive low, into drive. Let's see what happens. Foot off the brake. We're spinning. We're spinning. It's trying. You can hear the 4-wheel drive system thinking, oh, excellent, excellent, excellent. Now in a situation like that, what you want to do is keep your foot on the accelerator, build some RPMs, not mash it, but just hold it steady. Let the 4-wheel drive system engage, let the brakes engage, I should say, and then force wheel speed to the wheels on the ground. We got unstuck. Good work, little Ram. Okay, the final test. Both rears are stuck, the right front is stuck, only the left front is on the ground. Once again, left front on the ground, the other 3 stuck. 4-wheel drive low. So far, I'm blown away with the performance of even this entry-level Ram truck. Now, for reference, check out some passenger cars I've run through this test so you get an idea of how some cars really, really struggle. Okay, back to the Ram. 4 low, into drive. Off the brake, vehicle spinning. You can see that grab of that brake, applying accelerator. Yes, 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 yes. This thing rocks, even without a rear locker. At least in this controlled test, we haven't needed one at all. Sure, it would have been a little bit more seamless, but let's get this thing out into the dirt, into the ruts and the trenches to see how it performs. All right, so now for a real-world application of the TFL slip test. Now we're out here in the Onyx Off-Roads, Andre's pit course, and we have this fantastic obstacle called trenches, which are these deep grooves set into the earth at offset angles, and it's designed on purpose to get various wheels in the air. It's also pointed uphill, which makes it even harder. And then, of course, we got the added challenge that today we've got snow. Now, I can't control the conditions. It is kind of what it is in this situation. So we're going to see how this vehicle performs. Now, this truck is rolling on its stock Goodyear Wrangler SRA tires. And this is a pretty affordable tire, and I have to say, I really like the performance of this unit in the snow. These tires are pretty darn good for what they are, for just being a pretty generic all season. They've got pretty good lugs, they've got pretty good siping, and they perform pretty darn well in the snow. Anyways, what we have here is snow and mud and trenches. So I'm gonna go into 4-wheel drive low, as you should do in such an obstacle. And we're gonna start picking up some tires and seeing how the 4-wheel drive system works. Now, I could just bomb up through this. That's not the point of this test. We wanna go nice and slow, lose the momentum, let the 4-wheel drive system have to work. We want this thing to be challenged, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. So the left wheels are now going to dip into the trenches, get the vehicle offset. Now, this vehicle has no skid plates underneath. We do not have that package. So we're running pretty exposed here. And now I'm gonna take it really slow. We're gonna get the vehicle off kilter. So at this point, 2 wheels are in the air, the right front and the left rear. And now if I apply some accelerator, nice steady throttle application, you can see it performed exactly as it was supposed to. The traction control engaged and the wheels in the air started spinning, brakes grabbed, transfer wheel speed to the wheels on the ground. So I've stopped, same situation here, It's going to be a little bit even slipperier. Got a little bit of sliding action, and now we're going to start pointing up the hill. Solid rear axle on this truck, and it's actually articulating pretty darn well. We're not scraping the front chin at all either, which I'm impressed about. Very impressive, very impressive. This is excellent. Okay, now it's starting to get harder. So not only do we have this pretty challenging test, but it's also slippery. So the traction control is working, but to be honest with you, we don't have the grip out of these tires. So what I'm gonna have to do, I think, is just give it a little bit of a bump to try to get up the trenches course. So this is where a rear locker might help us at least a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna try to maintain that momentum just a little bit here. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. That is some thick, gooey mud. Even at the top of this course. Oh, shoot. Man, I'm just digging ruts. Come on. Come on, truck, let's grip. Let's grip. Come on. Come on, buddy. What's good about this four-wheel drive system is it also gives you enough, whoa, get the thing sideways. It gives you enough freedom to, wow, this is like the goopiest mud I've ever seen out here. It gives you enough freedom to allow a little bit of RPM. So some traction control systems will just shut the system down and be like, no, you can't spin the tires at all. Not the Ram. It allows the tires to build the momentum so that the traction control has an opportunity to grasp down on the brakes to transfer wheel speed. Freaking killed it. Set of good tires on this thing, it'll take you most places you'd want to go. Well, overall, I think the Ram performed very well for what it is. A simple four-wheel drive with no special modes, no terrain selection, no locker. This thing really did well, and I think for 99% of people that just kind of want to go do some exploring, want to drive their truck in the snow, this is plenty good enough. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As always, this has been Tommy behind the camera, Alex. We'll see you on the next stubby video.